Hi students, this is Isha Parekh from Saswat International Academy. Today I am going to teach General Knowledge of Standard 3, Chapter 2, Book Wise. In this, we are going to learn about different books written by different authors. So what is author? Author is a writer of a book, article or document. So the person who writes books, articles or document is known as author. J.M. Barrie. Peter Pan. J.M. Barrie was born on May 9th, 1860 in Scotland. He was a Scottish dramatist, best known for writing Peter Pan in 1904. The main theme of the story is the conflict between wanting to remain a child but knowing that one has to become an adult. Peter Pan is the living and breathing manifestation of the desire to remain a child forever without responsibilities or cares. Next, Hans Christian Andersen. Hans Christian Andersen, in Denmark usually called H.C. Andersen, was a Danish author, writer of plays, novels and poems. He is best remembered for his fairy tales. The Ugly Duckling is a fairy tale written by Hans Christian Andersen. Was first published in 11 November 1843. The story tells of the plain looking little bird, that is the ugly duckling, his brother and sisters as well as the other birds and animals on the farm tease him for being plain and ugly. So he runs off to live with the flock of wild ducks and geese until hunters shoot down the flock. Next, Roald Dahl, Matilda. Roald Dahl was born on 13 September 1916. Dahl's parents were Norwegian. 9 years after his father had died, his family moved to England. He was a British novelist, short story writer, poet, screenwriter, and wartime fighter pilot. Melida is a story of a wonderful little girl who happens to be a genius and her wonderful teacher versus the worst parents ever and the worst school principal. Next, Jonathan Swift was an Anglo-Irish essayist, politician, best known for writing Gulliver Travels. So Gulliver Travels is a story of various adventures. Next, J.K. Rowling was born on 31st July 1965 at England. She had written Harry Potter. Next, Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling was an English journalist, short story writer, poet and novelist. He was born in India, which inspired much of his work. He wrote The Jungle Book, is a collection of stories by the English author. Most of the characters are animals such as Sher Khan, the tiger, Bhalu, the bear. Thought a principal character is the boy of man cub, Mowgli, who is raised in the jungle by wolves. Next, Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll wrote Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll was an English writer of children's fictions. He was noted for his facility at wordplay, logic and fantasy. It tells a young girl named Alice who falls through a rabbit hole into a subterranean fantasy world. Next, ENID BLYTON. She wrote Nobby in the Toyland. ENID BLYTON was an English children's writer whose books have been among the world's best sellers since the 1930s. BLYTON's books are still enormously popular and have been translated in 90 languages. Next, Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde was an Irish poet and playwright. After writing different forms throughout the 1880s, the early 1990s saw him become one of the most popular playwrights in London. Next, AESOP. AESOP is a Greek fabulist and storyteller. Fabulists are short stories that teach a moral or lesson. The characters are animals with human traits. Some of his popular fables includes the ants and the grasshopper. So Aesop wrote fables. So now this was the introduction of the authors. Now we'll start with our lesson. Match the names of the authors with the book they have written. One has been done for you. So here are few books and authors names. So what we have to do, we have to match the names with the books. First one, J.M. Barrie. So which book he have written? He have written Peter Pan. So what we have to do, we have to match. Next, Hans Christian Andersen. Which book he have written? The Ugly Duckling. Next, third one is done for you. Next, Jonathan Swift. Which book he have written? Gulliver Travels. J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter series. Next, Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling, The Jungle Book. Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventure in Wonderland. Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton, Noddy in Toyland. Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, Happy Prince. Aesop, Fables. So this you have to match in your textbook. Thank you for today.